We're back. All right. So now we play out. I mean, that's the end of the prep there.
Oh, was it?
Yep. So now we play out scenes.
All right, we're just refresh me on the native thing real fast.
What do you mean?
Like, what did we decide about the native thing again?
We already went through it like 3 times.
I know. Well, because we went through it 3 different times. I want to know what we finally decided.
It's some undetermined amount of time before the next Fistful of the Dead or whatever.
Okay.
And the natives, though, you have the women and children or whatever who stay nearby and have found out about you guys building on the burial grounds or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the warriors and hunters or whatever are coming back from their annual follow the herd thing, like the 3 months before the Festival of the Dead, and they're coming back soon, and yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. So would my character know exactly when they're coming back then, or no?
You might, if you have.
Let's say I don't. Let's say he won't tell me.
I mean, that makes sense. But okay, so so we have to decide who goes first. And whoever goes first will will make a crossroad, because there isn't a crossroad. And so whoever starts this will say, all right, the crossroad our kingdom is moving towards is this question: will the kingdom blank? And it has to be a thing that the kingdom decides to do. It can't be, will the kingdom be invaded by natives? It will be, will the kingdom decide to bribe the natives or something like that?
Will the kingdom decide to light or not to light?
No, that is the question.
To light or not to light? But yeah, I mean, if someone has a good idea for the exact wording of that crossroad, then they can just start and then make a scene. And so basically what will happen is all the scenes will be moving towards that crossroad. And so during the scenes, whatever your reaction is to things, that will decide what the rest of the people in the kingdom, how their attitude is towards this stuff that's happening. Josh will get to make decisions, like throw people in prison, do whatever he wants. Like, he has the power to try to say I'm gonna stop this crossroad or whatever, and then all throughout I'm adding consequences in if the answer is yes or no to that question, as I see things happening. So if we kind of come to the conclusion that everyone's gonna starve if we do this thing, then I'll just be like, yeah, this is what the consequences now. Okay. And we keep adding them up, and then basically after each player does the scene, they get to decide what the scene is and all that stuff. And at the end of that scene, you get to check one of these 3 things that I have written on here: either time passes, crisis, or towards the crossroads. Okay. And so you'll check a thing, and then if it completes, that all the checks are completed, either time will pass, so a months or years will pass, and it will just be a hiatus on, so the crossroads doesn't happen yet. Okay. If you choose crisis, then it's something unrelated happens that changes everything, and a crisis happens. Okay. Or if if you finish the crossroads, then the kingdom has to make a decision.
Okay, so will the kingdom, the yeses are how many votes you get towards
No. Yes and no. Underneath those things, I will write consequences of what will happen if the answer to that question is yes, or if the answer to that question is no.
Okay, all right. I think it just makes more sense when we just go. So
yeah. So does anyone have an idea for the crossroad exactly, how it will be worded?
Will the kingdom? Should it just be will the kingdom
I think it's maybe will the kingdom give over the burial grounds to the natives.
Well, yes, but I was thinking more of the socialist thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
will the kingdom? So I guess that might be the more pressing matter. Like that's going to. Well, that might be a crisis, though. I think the kingdom needs to make the decision of whether or not this is going to, or if the
But again,
drugs
like,
are going to be given to everybody or just for the people.
But again, like, you don't have access to the drugs, right? Like, you're dwindling in the supply of the drugs, so they need the drugs anyway. I feel like the most pressing issue is what will the kingdom decide to do when the natives come calling?
Okay.
Because that will decide the drug issue. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
guess.
if you ally with the natives, then you could get the drug.
Okay, so should it be will the kingdom ally with the natives?
Well, yeah. Will the kingdom?
Because give them the burial grounds could be a number of things.
That's true. Let's say, will the kingdom make friends with the natives? And that can mean multiple different things.
Okay.
Okay. So, who wants to start the first scene? Technically, one of us should have made up. Did I make up that crossroad, or did you, or?
I feel like you made that
Yeah,
crossroads.
you made that
Okay.
crossroad.
All right. So I'll just start the first scene then. So the way this works basically is, I describe the situation, what's going on here and how, and are the characters here for a reason? Does something just happen, or are they expecting something to happen? A clear situation makes it easier for everyone to roleplay the scene, so I'll just set up a situation, and who's there, and where does it take place? What are those locations, probably? And then as we're playing the scene, we'll all tell each other what our character does, says, and thinks about the crossroad, and so all of this will have to do with the pressing issues that are starting to happen.
Okay.
And then you'll use your role to affect the crossroad and kingdom. So again, like Josh, you can throw people in prison. You have the power in the town to do things like that. As I see consequences lining up for the decision, I'll add consequences as we go here, and then Connor will show us how the rest of everybody is feeling about what's happening.
Okay.
Also, most of the time that's all you need, but situations may arise where you want to do more. You want your character to have a different voice in the kingdom, you can change your role during a scene. You have to play out at least one full scene with your role before you can change it, though. You want to stomp a specific thing that someone else just did, have your character challenge it, and that's a specific thing. That's a thing that can happen. Don't like what another character is doing to the kingdom with their role, want to prove them wrong, you can overthrow them and take the role for yourself.
Okay, can we make up roles?
No, it has to be one of those three.
Okay.
Also, after the main scene, any player can narrate a short reaction to show what their character thinks or does about what happened.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it's like a little vignette. So, and that is basically it.
That's a very nice layout for all this stuff, though.
Yeah.
This is pretty simple.
Yep.
All right.
So yeah, I think. I want to have us. Let's say, okay, so I'm gonna frame the scene as we are all three of us, and maybe a few others, depending on like who is important to us. I'm gonna kind of come on the screen. Can't see. Who's important? Whoever is important to our characters. Maybe we invited a few other people or whatever.
So Mother Maud.
But yeah, we're at Mother Maud's house. And we're having like the dinner that so Mother Maud every day for dinner, she invites a different randomly selected group of people to eat with her.
Okay.
And apparently she does this by smoking the light, and then like God is telling her who she needs to invite to dinner at that specific time. She's one of the hierarchy, really. Mother Maud is, so she has access to light still. But yeah, so this is that dinner, so all of us are there, and then Mother Maud's there, obviously. And we'll since all of us are there, we'll just kind of all collectively kind of make up what the NPC's reactions, if any, there are. But yeah, so I think we're all eating there, and I'm trying to think of something about the crossroads has come up. And I think it's me who brings it up. So I think we kind of like open the scene on my character, and he does the gray hair, really gaunt, like sunken eyes. He's kind of hunched over his meal, and he's like, "So I heard," and he kind of like looks around at everybody. "I heard that natives were spotted nearby. A few hunters. Apparently, there are more of them here than we thought, and they aren't just all women and children. What do you think of that?" And so these kind of questions, I do this all the time, this character does, where and we kind of we'll probably have to make up names as we continue here too. I just realized for our characters. But he asks these kind of like leading questions all the time, and he never really talks about it himself. He never wants to discuss it himself, but he wants to hear other people discuss it. So he'll just bring up random stuff like this, and just be like, "So, what do you think of that?"
Okay.
And I think his name is Abernathy.
Okay.
That's my name.
Brother Abernathy, where did you hear that?
A little bird told me. Actually, a big bird. One of those large, what is it? The plains birds? The ostriches, yes.
An ostrich told you?
Yes, an ostrich told me. Is that so hard to believe?
So, is it common for him to bring up fairly random sources of information?
Yes.
Okay. So
and like, yeah,
this is essentially him saying he was on light. And
yeah, basically.
that's all it's on.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, what Abernathy was just implying is that the light showed him this ostrich that spoke with the voice of God.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just so that we're on the same page there. Okay. At this point, I think you're Abernathy. You need a name for my fellow. Brother Franklin.
I love it.
Brother Franklin is concerned.
Like that?
Stistani.
What?
My name is Stistani.
Stistani.
That was interesting because is that a name you took for yourself, or is that what your father named you?
Why would I take a name for myself?
I don't know.
Because you're hanging out with a native man with a name like that?
No, that's my name. I don't know. I didn't change my name.
Okay.
Why would I have changed my name?
I feel like Brother Franklin would have named her Prudence.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not the kind of name that he probably would have named you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know. Thinking along the same strain of Abernathy.
Exactly, yeah.
Franklin.
Alright, my name's Prudence then.
Okay. I'm down with it.
So, Brother Franklin is probably heard the same things himself, right? As the
ostrich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been some sightings of a few lone natives that are kind of skirting the edges of the town and catching glimpses and stuff, like scouts of some sort.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope they're not foolish enough to try anything.
Oh, of course they wouldn't be. Not with someone as enlightened as you, Brother Franklin. Of course not.
Enlightened.
Yes, enlightened. Do you have something to say, Prudence?
I didn't.
No, I know. I know you didn't.
Okay. Yeah.
We're in character, Connor.
Something will have to be done if they keep nosing around. This is our land, after all.
But Father, they're only curious.
So long as they stay curious and off our land.
Well, of course, Father.
I would like to just bring up, and this is something that, again, a little bird told me. You have noticed the burial grounds, the little hillocks that are around the town? My sources do tell me that they might have some significance to the native population. Whether or not it was built by them is another story, but, maybe...
You spend way too much time around those mounds. You think about them too often. The natives were clearly not using them when we arrived, and they haven't bothered us since. So they must be of no value to them.
I accede to your enlightened wisdom on this matter, Brother Franklin. Father Franklin, I should say.
No, friend. We are all brothers here.
Yes, but you are like a father to us all, though. Wouldn't you say, Prudence?
Does that make Mother Maud my real mother? I'm kidding.
No.
You didn't say that? Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah, you're
not questioning that.
But Father, wouldn't
Yes, Prudence.
wouldn't the savages make good allies? What if we were able to befriend them somehow?
And you can
Well,
see...
whatever for. We are the kingdom of God, and why would we need their aid when we have got revelation from God himself?
And I think, like, Abernathy, you could see that he was, like, waiting for one of you to, like, be, like, super, like, passionate about
Clever.
it either way.
Clever.
And then as soon as Franklin says that, he's like, "Oh, Prudence, yes, of course. Why didn't you think of that?" Like, pointing to what Franklin just said.
But Father, isn't that... What if we could share with them our enlightenment with God?
And then
It can't be a
Abernathy's
terribly-
waiting.
It can't be a terribly selfish thing. Can it be? It needs us. We need to reach out to them. Should we not? Isn't that the righteous, God-fearing thing to do?
But God has told us that this is our land.
Too true, Brother Franklin. God has told us that this is our land.
But shouldn't we be able to share it with whomever we choose? Maybe that's why God has given us this land.
Fair enough, Brother Franklin. Your daughter has a point. Whether it is a good point is up to you to decide, but...
If God wanted us to share our land and his light, he would have given us more light and more land.
Wisdom as always. The wisdom of the elders. Mother Maud, this soup is delicious.
Absolutely fantastic.
Someone else should play Mother Maud because...
Oh dear! Oh, thank you very much. I will treasure your words forever, kind sir.
Mother Maud, you flatter me so.
I have some more. I have some mutton in the corner.
Mutton
Oh yes, pass the mutton.
from the most
Very
prized
good.
of sheeps.
This is such an anime scene.
I know.
Somebody just needs to yell. It's perfect. Who are you calling a shrimp? No. Okay. Yeah, eat.
I'm eating, Mother Maud. Quite good. Brother Franklin, you seem sick. Why aren't you eating?
And then Mother Maud looks to Franklin and says, Oh, don't worry. Whatever decision you make about the natives, I will be just as hospitable as always, and I will feed whatever native you choose for me to feed. I will care for whoever needs caring.
Well spoken, Mother Maud. Well spoken indeed.
Now, Prudence, you must respect your elders. Whatever decision they make, don't go pouting about now.
This is very true, Prudence. Must respect your elders, and that includes everyone in this room except for you.
Her face just kind of grows dark, and she asks to be excused.
Oh, you have some gas there, Prudence.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't ask to be excused.
Oh, okay.
No, she just stays quiet, eats her food,
And I kind of like do like the look between Franklin and Prudence.
On the matter of the natives, I will have to consult with God and find out his will for the matter. In the meanwhile...
And then, yeah, like Abernathy, like, kind of, like, leans forward, like, or you're gonna ask me to consult with God? Right? Or we can consult with God together? Like, you can see this in his eyes.
Abernathy.
Yes, sir!
Out of phrase.
Continue with what you were going to say. I bet he was going to be brilliant.
Something to the effect of your enlightenment is always... Your insight is always helpful. Something to that effect. I can't phrase it.
Yes. I will light the way, or rather, God will light the way through my candle. Rather, my wax, my wick.
That was quite a disturbing metaphor there.
That Prudence saying that?
No.
Exactly.
All right. Well.
I think at this point, Franklin's going to head off. Probably gonna. I would assume the meal's pretty much done at this point.
Franklin is going to go off and smoke light. and consult with
Abernathy
God.
skulks along with him. Going to smoke some light.
Prudence goes into the catacombs.
Okay, so I mean, let's evaluate what we kind of learned there. We learned that the population of the Kingdom of God are generally predisposed towards the natives, and they're like, hey, we could share this land with them, right? Like, we're all cool. We can just share the light with everyone. And I think I'm gonna add a prediction here on the yes part of make friends with the natives. If you make friends with the natives, Mother Maud will feed them.
All right. Okay, so
It's not a very...
real fast break. I'm gonna go salt my broccoli.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Okay, let's see, I'm gonna check. I mean, I'll just go ahead and check the, gets closer to the native.
Where are we looking again?
And we'll be in Will the Kingdom, right
Okay.
there. Once all those turn into O's, then the crossroads
Kingdom
will
has to make a
happen.
decision. Okay. What's the difference between that and time passes?
Time passes, like, basically, any of these, once they're full, the effect will take place. So for time passes, it will be, okay, like, we're drawing it out more, basically, before the thing happens. And if the time passes gets full, then, like, months or like a year or some amount of time just passes, where nothing happens of import. And maybe situations kind of change, like the dynamics might shift a little bit, but none of the crises or decisions happen. Whereas if the crisis gets filled, then some crisis happens. If the decision gets filled, then we have to make the decision.
Okay. I think we're still live, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that, as is fairly common with all religions of this nature, Brother Franklin goes in to his hallucinatory state with his drug and his sidekick and sees exactly what he wants to see.
Right.
That the light is reserved for the kingdom of God, and it's not to be shared with outsiders.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, that's a reaction, right? Like that's a reaction to the scene,
mm-hmm.
So that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. He's totally wanting that to be the case, and that's what he sees.
Does he make any decisions based off of that?
I think.
Does he like push his power around or something in any form?
I don't know that. Yeah, I think that he's going to start a bit of a watch, bit of a patrol, to keep tabs on the area, watch for essentially just one or two guys walking around, making sure that natives aren't skulking in the trees, or maybe he doesn't need to go that far quite yet. He's going to essentially say that if people see natives around, they need to report that to him. Where, how many,
right?
That kind of thing, and then with kind of the general hint that maybe they're dangerous, and that this is something he needs to, keep an eye on and take care of, to try to build a bit of fear. Or maybe that's the subject of his sermon on whatever day it is they all get together, and he talks about what he saw in the light that day.
Right.
And then maybe they dole out a small amount of light to everybody or something. Just
maybe like on their worship days or whatever. Yeah.
Not enough to go full hallucinogenic with the big big visions of the glory days of the kingdom.
Yeah.
But
and maybe you even preach about like the trials, like the valley of the shadow of death, like that kind of stuff, where you're like, oh, this time is merely but a passing trial, like that we don't have full hallucinogens, all that stuff. What I missed? I want broccoli. Josh, just a reaction to that scene where he has Franklin go light up, as they say, and basically see exactly what he wants to see, that the land is for them and that the natives shouldn't have it. And then he goes and preaches about it on worship day.
And how fortunate we are to be chosen, and how...
Calvinism? No.
Not quite.
Really hyper Calvinism, but
more like we were special.
Okay, so Nazism.
Yeah.
Hyper Calvinistic Nazism.
We're special, and God gave us light to make us even more special.
Yeah.
And we will grow and multiply, and those who come from us will one day rule the world. There'll be light everywhere, and the non-believers, they shun us and they drove us out, and we found a place to live, and it's not the promised land we hoped. But God will bring us into the land of light, and we'll have light forever and all of that stuff.
So I think let's just go in order as I have written here. So Prudence scene next.
Okay.
What's your scene?
Meeting with the teenagers in the catacombs.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. So what's happening? Who's there? You don't have to have everybody in every scene or anything. So.
Do you think this would be too many things at once, or do you think it'd be good if I was bringing the native to the meeting?
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Do you think I'd be trying to go too fast?
No,
or I should
we're
wait
fine.
longer?
I mean,
Okay.
again, like we don't have that much time anyway.
Right.
So might as
Okay,
well
alright,
just
so-
speed it up.
So yeah, she's walking with the native to the meeting,
Okay.
and he's kind of being all reverent and like, I really shouldn't be
Is
here.
Abernathy going to be there?
No,
Okay. So who do you want playing the native then?
either one doesn't matter.
Josh, you want to play the native, or should I play the native?
You can.
Okay.
I'll be the rest of the teenagers then.
Right. Yeah. Got it. So what is he doing?
Just reverently like looking back and forth at all
Right.
different things.
Right. I think he like points out one of the little markers to you, like on the wall. He's like, that is one of my ancestors. The guiding light, they called him. Very brave warrior. And I think he like reaches down and like to grab your like hand, like in a romantic way. I'm not gonna go grab your hand. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so your name is Prudence. What does the religion believe about sexuality and like physical contact and romance and all that stuff?
I don't know.
I mean, make it up in this one moment. Just take his hand.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. Makes sense for a bunch of drug hippies.
Mm-hmm.
I can see this religion evolving into a much more like authoritarian, like legalistic sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get a firm doctrine in mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When the light goes away, it's a generation or two later, and all
Yeah.
they have is Brother Franklin's words written in a book somewhere, and
Right.
apocryphal text written by Brother Abernathy. He's going to be Father Franklin, and the Franklinites will spread.
Abernathians are like the doomsayers. The pre-trib people.
Alright, so they're walking, and I think Prudence takes him on a detour first,
Mm-hmm.
and wants to see if he recognizes something and knows what something is about.
What is this thing?
A door, a trap door.
A trap
Or
door?
Just go straight down.
I think he pales, like in the torchlight. He pales as he sees it. He says, "Never touch that. It is dangerous." And then he just leads you away hurriedly.
She stops and is like, wait, what is down there?
Prudence, I cannot tell you. It is not wise to know things that one should not know, or to seek those things out.
She just drops it. Okay, so they're at the meeting then.
Okay.
And I probably asked the native to stay behind
Right.
and then have a big entrance kind of a thing. Like, all right, here's the native.
Okay.
Sorry, I was chewing.
That's fine.
Honey roasted peanuts are my Achilles heel. Okay, one more time from the top.
she Prudence comes into like the meeting area, and she does not have the native with her yet. She's gonna like have him wait outside of the room or whatever, and then like introduce him and stuff.
Okay.
So maybe.
So she does.
Do you know? Do they know about the native at this point? Okay, so they just haven't met him yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Prudence, where's your boyfriend? I thought you were gonna bring him.
This is great.
I did. On your pants.
Hold on to your pants. Do the women wear pants?
Sure.
Okay. No, I'm just because this is the thing. We set this up as like a very like a religious like Mormonism kind of thing. So it's turned out to be much more like hippies than anything. Hippie Hinduism or something like that.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, they're supposed to wear dresses and stuff like that, but they don't when they're alone.
Okay.
And then,
Right.
It's just like their way of expressing themselves freely.
Sure. Got it.
Express themselves freely by cross-dressing.
Yeah. Yep. Really shows off their femininity.
There are worse things they could be doing.
It's true. Are there all women in the meeting, or?
I mean, they could be doing drugs or something.
No. Oh wait.
Are there all women in the group, or
No,
is it
there's boys.
mixed? Okay. Or I guess the native steps into the room, and I think his name is looking around for inspiration.
Terrastallion.
Terrastallion?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to
I
spell
think
that?
Well, also the thing, like I was gonna, like I think that's probably his name in the native language, but I think he like translates it like as like,
Paris?
No, hold up. If they have a native language, how do they
He learned it. He learned your
In
language.
3 months?
Yeah.
Alright.
A bunch of cute romantic scenes of you teaching him the language.
Yeah.
Tarzan.
He's probably speaks it in halting language.
I
but-
wanna know, can you show me?
I think his name is just Earth Below Sky. That's the translated bit. Is Earth Below Sky. And it's a common name he's told you among over the generations. Like his father is named Earth Below Sky as well. So.
And his grandfather.
And
his grandfather's grandfather. But not his grandfather's father, because he was named Bob.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, he steps into the room and he just kind of like does like a wave, like a very like awkward looking wave. Like, is this what you guys do? Like, hello, I am Earth Below Sky.
Is he striking in any fashion?
Yeah, I
is he
think
just...
he's really handsome. Like he's this rugged, handsome figure. Dark, kind of like a ruddy, dark skin. Not like quite brown, but like Middle Eastern. I think. And yeah, he has like the long dark hair. Has like a few like the feather tokens or whatever like in his hair. Looks very much like the noble savage, like tall, handsome guy. So.
It's hard to decide exactly how this goes down. Partly because, okay, so Prudence, how long have they been meeting here? Is this just a place they come to hang out and be rebellious? Is this kind of an organized meeting? What's the purpose of the meeting?
Both. It's a way that they can meet, but it started out as just a way they could come down and be hooligans, and then this turned into something more organized.
That makes sense.
Okay. So, organized hooliganry then. And I assume, based on, Prudence is bringing her friend today, there's some purpose to this beyond just, this is a guy I know, I want everybody to meet him.
It's probably related to the whole, like, rumors of the natives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Rumors of the natives coming back? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm assuming it's just kind of like, hey, this is affirmation that it is coming.
Right.
And we need to be ready for it.
And maybe because Brother Franklin's sermon the other day was toned that, we're the chosen people and that we're in a place of tribulation here, and the natives are scary and they're our tribulation, and that this is going to be the natives are a bad thing, and this is kind of the tone of it. And so maybe the kids are wondering, is this the case? Maybe that was part of the reasoning for bringing Earth Below Sky to the meeting tonight. Be to kind of to get the kids on your side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so he does this little awkward wave and he's like, hello, I am Earth Below Sky. 'Tis nice to meet you.
Earth Below Sky. What kind of name is that?
Is that a guy or a girl that says
It's a
that?
guy.
Okay,
It's a guy.
I thought so. I just want to make sure.
So, yeah, I'll try to make him distinct.
Yeah, so he says, what is your name?
Bert?
What kind of a name is that?
I don't know.
And he just kind of like nods and like turns to Prudence. What did you want me to say? Exactly.
I want them to hear it from your mouth. They're coming.
So it's true.
Yes, it is true.
Are there more like you?
Yes.
You're very pretty.
Wait, what?
She
One of the younger girls.
said, you're really pretty. And I think he just like ignores it and he's like, my people are gone around this time, and he's struggling with the language, and he says, every time around this time, and he's using the same words to describe, and he feels like there's other words that should be able to describe these things, but he doesn't know exactly what.
Season, maybe? Maybe you're looking for, you have the spring where it's all sunny and, but kind of cool, and then there's the summer where it's warm and lots of sun, and then it's fall, and then winter where it's very cold.
Yes, like that. After the season is coming to a close, what quick question, what season would that be? Would they would go and like hunt the buffalo? Would it be the summer?
I believe so.
Probably would make sense, yeah.
Okay, so it's starting to be fall.
Because at that point, yeah, as you're getting to the end of summer, fall is at that point where you're really wanting to start to buckle down.
Yeah, and probably get back to do like harvest for any of the agriculture that's happening as well. So
Look around.
leaves around. Yeah, yeah, but I think he says, after like a quick explanation that they give, he's like, yes, the season is changing, and my people return from the hunt, and they may not be happy to find you here.
Brother Franklin says you're scary. You're gonna hurt us because we're here.
And he kind of looks at Prudence like,
people gonna hurt us?
And she says, well, are you?
And I think he says, I am not them. I do not know what the chieftain will do.
She just kind of looks and watches the crowd's reaction to that.
They're murmuring amongst themselves. They're not happy with that answer.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of doing a little bit of touchstone on here.
Yeah,
But
that's fine. Yeah.
No, that's
is
fine.
that okay for this scene? They're not all together very satisfied with the idea that Brother Franklin might be right, and these people are
Right, and I think like he like raises a hand like to quiet everybody. He's like, "Please listen to me. I do not know how they will react, but," and he looks at Prudence again. He keeps like looking at Prudence for like confirmation of what he's saying, and he says, "I am here to tell you that we can change how you will react. If you are peaceable, if you are kind, if you are friendly to my people when they return, then this could be a good thing. But if you, as your brother Franklin says, are scared of them, and you assume that they will hurt you, then hurt you they might."
another complex sentence structure for someone only 3 months into the language.
Yep. That's because I can't think on my feet that fast.
That's alright. If you notice, the crowd has a slightly delayed reaction time, exactly for that reason. I think this is more a Prudence call than mine, but I would feel like maybe a Connor call more than mine, but I think they're probably gonna take that with, fairly readily, would you say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the crowd seems a crowd of, what, 10? 11? They seem appeased by that. And I'm trying to think of what else.
I mean, she basically just says, "So what are we gonna do about it?"
Okay, yeah. Are you like posing that to everybody else or to
Everybody else.
Sky? Okay.
Prudence, why don't you talk to your father? And maybe he doesn't know. He's never met Earth Below Skies. He doesn't know that they're nice if we're nice. Does he?
My father is a jerk.
Laugh it up, Buzzball.
But he'll listen to you, right?
I think, yeah, she just kind of says, like, my father will listen to nobody. Like, with him having the only access to light, as far as is concerned, he's making up whatever he wants, and we all just have to swallow it. We have to make the decision here, as the youth, as the generation that's to come. This is our call. We need to make sure that that our call is the one that gets heard.
Yeah,
So how do we do that? I think that they're definitely interested in this idea. That they know better than the adults.
We persuade. We manipulate. We do whatever it takes to make sure that this kingdom, the kingdom of God, stays standing, and for the right reasons.
And I think Earth Below Sky, like, that kind of goes over his head with the whole Kingdom of God thing, and he's like, he just kind of like is like standing there awkwardly, like not really participating in anything you just said.
The crowd of people, the youth are definitely into that idea, I think.
All right.
pretty uniformly.
I think it's probably a good scene end there. I think I'm gonna add a stipulation with a consequence rather. I think if another yes thing, if the kingdom makes friends with the natives, the youth will be in charge.
To be fair, I honestly thought you were going to go with no if we don't. I mean, the natives will attack.
But that's too obvious, though.
Okay.
I want to think of the more subtle stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mother Maud will feed them. Subtle.
Yeah. All right.
More relevant. One of the
I don't
two.
think Abernathy has any reaction to that. But
Would he have overheard that discussion?
no. Oh, hey, Jordan's watching us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, and it just went out. What just happened?
Sorry, wrong button.
That's what I figured.
Apparently Control R reloads. Control T opens a new tab.
But yeah, so Connor, which box did you want to check with that scene? Does that move us? Does that just?
I
pass
can't
time?
hear you anymore.
So what would be? I mean, it's obviously not a crisis, and it's not a will the kingdom, is it? Well, I mean, it's probably just will the kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, I'll take this opportunity to go to something.
Okay.
What was that? Oh, it's so cold out here compared to today. It's like 10 degrees cold.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, one more time, right? You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry. Reloaded the page, then I
That's
changed
right.
the video settings to try to jostle it loose, and it reloaded everything and froze everything. And ended up on video and voice, or video receive, but not voice receive. Except that didn't work. And I ended up with video and voice coming through, which is weird.
I'm so entertained by everything about the book face, especially.
Are we on break?
Connor just went upstairs real quick to grab something, but he's back. Okay, so that passes. Franklin, what scene you got for us?
Let's see. I think. I'm not sure exactly here. What is this? What's the intent of each scene or of the scenes? To
It's usually to move it closer to the crisis, but it can be. I mean, basically, like depending on what happens in the scene, either the time will be more drawn out, and you'll mark a time passes. You'll move closer to some crisis, some like big explosion or rebellion or something, and then you'll check towards crisis, or it will just move us towards the decision, and you'll check will the kingdom box there.
I'm really not sure. I feel like Brother Franklin is essentially looking to maintain a status quo.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, because status quo is pretty good for him, and there's no need to push it further. I think.
And you don't have to decide like what kind of a scene it was like until afterwards. So you can just like set up a scene and just see how it goes too. So.
Mm-hmm. I think. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they've managed to capture one of the native scouts.
Ooh. Cool.
And so he's been brought in for questioning.
Okay, who's here?
It's gonna Brother Abernathy.
Okay.
Is there. Brother Franklin is there. I think maybe two of the elders.
Okay. So we'll maybe say that Connor will play the elders and the native.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the elders. How do I get?
Where are they keeping the native? Are they just bringing him into the town, or?
I think it's probably nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um,
So is this while the meeting is going on?
Could be. If we wanted to compress the timeline like that, we could. We could extend. It could be later too.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it matters. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it matters.
I think they've probably got him tied up. It's kind of on the edge of town.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be out of earshot of people
Sure.
and such.
All right.
And Brother Franklin is gonna. Yeah, so they maybe knocked him unconscious or something. So Brother Franklin's gonna have the elders wake him up. And then ask him questions.
Okay, so I think maybe we open on the scene of where Brother Franklin has just asked one of the elders to go, like, maybe they pour water on his face or something to, like, wake him up. You're also the native. Yeah, I think Brother Abernathy, like, puts a boot on his neck, like not super hard, but like just like puts him down because he's like I'm assuming he's like tied up. And I think you see a side of Abernathy you haven't seen yet, and he like looks into your eyes like really penetratingly, and he's like, "Shut up."
And he hisses at him.
Brother Franklin.
Do you understand English, boy?
Why would he?
He wouldn't, yeah.
So. No.
This is going to be a very frustrating interrogation scene.
Yeah, this isn't going to go anywhere. Alright, well, I mean.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. Does not appear to be civilized. He can't speak a civilized tongue.
Yes, No civilization for the weak.
And I can like press a little bit harder on your like Adam's
I'm assuming
apple.
he's bound, right? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Why do you have your foot still on his neck while he's trying to ask him questions?
But again, like it's very lightly. Like it's the
Okay.
kind of thing like I'm threatening you with just crushing your throat without actually doing it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How about he trips and how about he slips?
No.
Huh?
No. He's like, this is the thing. I want Brother Abernathy to be a fool when it's beneficial to him, but to be a cold-hearted, like just like horrible person when it
Backs
also
the
benefits.
Stampede from
Yeah.
Dragon.
Yes.
So where did you find him exactly?
Out near where, just on the, I don't know, where the drugs are. I caught him harvesting light.
Harvesting light, eh?
Curses be upon this foul savage.
I'm like kind of like frothing at the mouth a little bit.
Putting his hands on.
I want to seem like the zealous, like religious guy for Brother Franklin.
What were you saying, Josh?
Putting his hands on the messages from God is profane. He should be tried and executed.
Yes. I absolutely agree, Brother Franklin. I absolutely agree.
I'm gonna say one of the elders actually is disturbed by that and says, well, "Try and execute it, sir. He doesn't even understand our language." Or father, not sir, father. He doesn't even understand our language.
The light of God is not for his kind. He was caught taking what does not belong to him.
Well, yes, but if we execute one of his own without proper communication, they're only going to take that as an act of war, sir, or father.
I mean, Abernathy does the whole looking between the two parties, seeing who he should side with.
Abernathy.
Yes,
Brother Franklin. This is so good.
Do you think you could talk to this man? Teach him our language enough so we can find out why he was here?
That was directed at you, Kim.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
If we what was the first part of that?
Do you think you could talk to him?
Like how?
He's
Like,
essentially Abernathy's billing himself as this shaman fellow, right?
right.
So Brother Franklin figures Abernathy's got some kind of arcane knowledge and can figure out how to talk to this guy.
Okay, yeah, and I think he blinks, and then just like,
of course, Brother Franklin. Of course.
and he kind of like prods him in the head just a little bit, like a little jab. And he kind of leans in, grabs his face, kind of leans in close, presses up his eyelids, and like goes like really close.
He bites him.
Does he?
He bites his arms.
Nice. He goes, ah! Curses upon you! Ah!
Restrain him.
Oh, he's restrained. He just... they probably gag him. Well, how would they say that? The others are like, sir, he is restrained.
Then gag him.
Gag him.
Abernathy knows about the other native, right?
Oh yeah.
One of the elders chuckles at that. He doesn't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what happens is like Abernathy is like,
No. I have to communicate with him. You can't gag him, not yet.
and he's like bleeding from his nose at this point.
Yeah.
And then what he does is he kind of like smears the blood like on his hands, and then like wipes it on the native's face. Leans in close again, but not too close. And then he says,
Tell us your secrets, native
And I think this is the point where Abernathy tries to do magic. And I think there is a little bit of magic that he legitimately has access to. But what he does is he grabs out his pipe, the pipe that everybody has, and puts some of the light inside, lights it with a little bit of flint and steel or whatever. Takes a long draw and just blows it in the guy's face. And I think he does this a couple of times, and every time he does it, the native's face gets more and more relaxed. And then Abernathy leans down with a pipe in his mouth and he goes, slaps him once, slaps him again with the other hand, shakes his face, and then leans in close again and says, "How close are your people?" And the native answers in English. Or whatever analog language we're using for English.
The civilized tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting feedback.
Speak up, native.
I was just trying to think of a really good insult, but I couldn't think of one.
It's probably a good thing.
You can just say, yeah, fair enough. You can probably just say he. You can just say he.
I mean,
That's a really good insult.
he insults your mother and your children, and
Okay.
somehow connects the two in a really
Okay.
That's what I was planning on doing.
Yeah.
even, but
Imagine the most brilliant insult,
Yeah.
and that's what happens. Okay, and I think Abernathy flushes, looks up at the elders and Brother Franklin, and he says,
one of the elders
"That's
chuckles.
that's not true. My mother did not do that."
Brother
But
Frank.
but I'm assuming that the elders and Franklin are a little bit surprised that the native is
I'm also going to say that
speaking.
the native is now surprised because he understands you.
Yeah.
And he's
Mhm.
like,
So he just reflexively spits an insult.
Yeah.
and then he realizes
Uh,
what you did, and he says, You have access to the ancient spirits as well?
I have access to your mom.
You. How can this be? You cursed ancient spirits with your volatile breath!
Save yours. As in your breath.
Yeah.
and he says, I do not tread in the spirits. I tread in the light of God. Much different.
Your god is quite deluded.
Where are your people, savage? How far away?
Answer the question.
He doesn't.
Franklin kicks him. Hard.
The spirits will eat you alive, and your children in your sleep.
The light of God defends me. Now, where are your people?
It's not bad. It's not bad.
And I think Abernathy is in the throes of religious ecstasy at this point. He's like, yes, my prophet, he is speaking truth. The infidels are hearing the word of the Lord.
I don't think he would answer, so he just keeps cursing.
Okay, I take the one end of the pipe, the breathing end, and I stick it in his eye.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Franklin's a little surprised at that.
And I'm assuming there's some screaming and cursing.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I love Abernathy so much. He's a horrible person.
Okay, so
Now tell us, Savage.
I'm saying he cries and says, why has the spirit of sight forsaken me?
You've seen the light of God, my friend.
You've seen the light of God, Savage.
And I say,
And the light of God burns those who aren't used to it.
and I suck in the pipe like with the blood and stuff like still on it. There's like blood on my lips.
Curses upon you for tainting my blood. What have you done?
I've done you more of a favor than you deserve.
The gate won't open now.
Maybe God will have pity on your soul.
The gate will not open for me. No.
I just crush
A
his throat.
blasphemer.
I just crush his throat. I'm done with this guy.
What?
Yeah.
You just kill him?
Yeah, I just shove my boot down on his throat, and he dies. Like I'd snap his neck basically.
Abernathy.
And I look at him and I say, and I like roll my eyes back up in my head like happens like when I'm having like a hallucination or whatever, like a vision, and I say, the light of God says, this one had no more to say. And I take another draw from my pipe.
Okay.
Oh, God has spoken.
We should take this one, make an example of him then. Show the people why they must fear them.
I'm gonna say that the elder who was concerned before speaks up and he probably exclaimed when you stuck the thing in his eye as well.
Yeah.
But he's like, "What have you done? What have you done? You've brought war to our people."
You have done that yourself. No, I'm kidding.
What?
No, I don't say that. No, I'm saying, we're the chosen. We are the chosen. And then I just walk away towards the standing stones.
So because you're favored by God, you think you're invincible and immune to his law?
And I go over, I look over and I say, we are the law, brother.
You, me, all of us. For we have the light of God, and these savages do not. God's judgment fell upon this man because he would not aid our cause. Do you wish to be a hindrance to our cause?
I wish not to be, sir. I wish not to be, Father, but I wish you would not be a hindrance to yourself.
And then Abernathy stops, and he turns back around, and he holds up the pipe, and he says,
Does your eye need to be cleansed as well, brother?
How dare you insult me like that? How dare you think better than me?
and I
Better
kind
of yourself.
I kind of look over at Franklin like, what do you want me to do?
Brother Graham.
I said the elder looks to you as well, as in like, how dare you let him insult me? I'm a brother too.
Brother Graham. I think you need to spend some time in meditation. Seek the Lord's wisdom in this.
He tenses.
And Abernathy kind of like visibly relaxes, takes another draw from his pipe.
Brother Abernathy,
Yes, Brother Franklin.
empty your pipe.
Brother Franklin? Empty it. Onto the ground.
You've seen enough for one night.
And I kind of look at it, and I start shaking just a little bit. As you wish. And I drop it, and then I just look at the pipe, and I'm like, so I just snap it and throw it to the ground, and then just leave.
Brother Paul, take Brother Graham to the basement of the tabernacle. Give him a book and tell him to meditate. We'll let him think on this.
Perhaps we should seek the will of God on this, Father.
Indeed. When you have set him to meditate, lock the door and then come find me. We will seek the will of God on his behalf.
Sir. Or, I need to stop saying sir. Father. And then he leads him off.
I think that's one of my favorite scenes we've ever done in any role-playing game ever.
That was intense.
Especially with 3 people and all of us being, like, focused and quick on it.
Yep.
I think, I mean, that was like a scene from a Brandon
I
Sanderson
know.
book.
I know.
Like, that was great.
I love Abernathy so much. He's such a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 3 minutes to 10, so you guys just want to end there? You want to do one more scene?
If we do one more scene, we can get to the decision point. Because I'm assuming that this was towards the decision as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Capturing and then killing a native kind of pushes that along, doesn't it?
It doesn't.
Or that was 3 scenes, wasn't that?
It was 3 scenes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Alright, well.
If we do one more scene, then we can
Well,
fill in that last bubble.
Yeah,
and make
but
the
if
decision.
if we do that, then we're going to have to deal with it. Like, that might take longer than we think
It's true.
to go through that.
Mm-hmm. We could close it here and pick up.
I mean, that'd be a pretty good, high note to end it on.
It's a very strong note to end on.
Uh-huh.
So we should plan to do this at, like, the next possible point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This
sounds
is really
good.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Franklin knows more than he's saying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This drug maybe isn't as, he's mostly believes now that it's the word of God, but he knows enough to know that it's incredibly hallucinatory and that if he's not the one receiving revelation, he's no longer able to trust the people around him receiving the revelation, particularly after Abernathy tonight.
Yeah.
That's a little more than he bargained for with that man.
Mm-hmm.
I just love where you said you stuck it in his eye, and we're both just like,
What?
wow.
Yeah.
Brother was just sitting there silent. How do we react to that?
So I think one of the things that interests me the most about this whole thing is the possibilities for the magic system revolving around the drug.
Yeah.
Because, like, if we say, I mean, it's the light of God. It's like how God apparently communicates with these people. It's
But it
it's
also
a
seems
magic
to make
system
them
all about
mad.
drugs and communication. Like, and I breathed on his face, and then he can understand us. Like, that's cool to me. Like, I really like this.
Mhm.
What's actually cool too is that there's actually a world in the 374th cycle, like our big shared galaxy thing, that pretty much would like perfectly fit this story in. Like it's a Weird West type of thing.
Which one?
Clock Strikes
boy.
that universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We just need Clockwork in there somewhere, but this
This
could
could be a prequel.
yeah. I mean, this is like some other corner of the world, but yeah, like it.
And we haven't really touched on technology level at all.
exactly
I mean,
yeah.
we have,
Yeah, basically,
So-
yeah, like that universe is like Clockpunk universe, Clockpunk world rather.
clock punk with magic drugs.
Yeah, yeah, basically like what's actually
Teleportation
interesting is like
drugs.
the whole story is that the European type people came across the ocean to this continent where the I'm trying to remember specifically what it was, but like I think they brought clockwork tech with them, from like the empire that like was destroyed, like behind them, kind of a thing, and they have like the remnants of that grand technology that was once way better. And there's a bunch of natives that live here that they are like driven out as they like spread across the continent. So I have a feeling this is like a sect that like broke away and doesn't like clockwork technology either, and like
maybe that's their main strictness.
right.
You don't see any clockwork in their village.
Yeah. Mainly the clockwork technology is like clockwork robots. So, but yeah, I just thought that was cool.
Is that from that story? Were you the one writing that story with the cards?
Yeah, that's Clock Strikes Death. Yep, that's what it was.
That's the same world then.
Yep, it's the same world. Yep.
Awesome.
So let's leave off with like a quick like summary of like what like real quick with Connor, like what is the present mood of the populace?
Okay.
What's happening?
I mean, with the knowledge of they just killed a native.
Right.
I think
you're gonna make an example of him, right?
I think brother Franklin is going to, and hopefully with the aid of brother Paul and brother Abernathy, spin this as the man was stealing light and trying to take part of the kingdom for himself, and that was forbidden by God, and that he's a heathen, and that he tried to attack and he had to be killed.
Okay, so not necessarily any ill feelings towards the hierarchy or Franklin, but they're afraid.
They're afraid. I like it.
So maybe some people are like, well, why didn't you handle this better? Why did you get us into this situation? But that's more like the elders. And the general populace is basically just like, oh crap, what do we do now?
I've made an enemy of Elder Graham.
Yeah.
I think. But if I keep him locked in a room, pump him full of enough light, he just sort of sit there and bask in revelation and forget about the world for a few months.
Yeah.
Very clever.
I'm having fun spinning all of these religious metaphors into drug metaphors.
Wait, say that again, Josh?
I'm just having fun with the religious play on words
Right.
we can create in this setting.
Yeah, with the light. Yeah. It's great. Those are all the characters that we thought of too. I like the idea of like having the names be like those normal like Paul and Graham or whatever, except they're spelled like weird like that.
Yeah, I really like the naming scheme so far. It's very intriguing.
Honestly, it was.
Stallion. That's a cool name, huh? Okay. All right. Well, we should just.
So I think I think actually I'm gonna add a stipulation on no for what happens if we don't make friends with the natives. The natives will pay back tenfold. Yeah. Because of the whole like I stabbed in the eye and all this stuff, like they're gonna pay back those wrongs. Like,
ooh, that would be a cool thing. That would be a cool equivalent. How about they believe in equivalent exchange for like former landness?
Right. Well, the natives are like, we have to do to you what you did to us. Like this is the law of the land.
What if they see it more as like their sacred duty?
Yeah, it's an obligation. Yeah, they don't necessarily
Balance.
want to do it.
It's about balance. They return. People are born into the world. They have to be returned to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Because people don't come from dirt; they come from the afterlife.
Okay, so the thing is I really think that there should be some sort of gate down there that they believe is the afterlife.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that should be a hilarity to the people. But what if if you use the light, it legitimately opens the gate to the afterlife, and that's the stipulation. Is you have to use the light to do so.
Oh.
The light.
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, the light will guide.
And then
you.
it would
It's
totally
all part
dis-
of the magic, right? That's
and
really
it
the
could
communication.
completely discredit Abernathy too if he's the only one high when they come look at it.
Yep. So it's like the thing is the light communicates with people. So it's just communicating with the afterlife. We're communicating with God.
So if this was a Brandon Sanderson world, then light would be like splinters of a shard or something like that, or like the shard pool. Like it'd be like the well of ascension split out amongst.
It's Necrosil stored, I believe. Correct. Necrosil is that's investiture. That's what I meant.
Investiture. Yeah, it's stored investiture. That's what I meant.
Well, no, it's
That's
not
what I'm
though. It's the one that they use for the medallions in the.
Oh right, yeah, where they can communicate. Yeah, it's
Identity.
not identity.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is identity.
Yeah.
They're storing
It's
it.
No,
Duralumin.
it's connection.
Connection.
It's Duralumin with
It's
connection.
not. It's not identity. It's connection. It's your connection to
The land.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
land.
Connection with the land.
Yep.
So
So it's just
Duralumin, correct?
what?
Was that Duralumin?
Uh.
I have a reference book right here, I think.
Yes. Such a good book. Such a
Ars Arcanum.
By the way, Ain't No Grave is legitimately Waxillium's literal theme song. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like
Stores connection Duralumin.
Duralman? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you and I say it very. I derive it off of aluminum.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought it was duraluminum, but apparently there's no UM on the end of it, so it's
I'm trying to
duralumin.
remember. Yeah, I don't actually remember how they pronounce it in the book. I think it's Duralamin.
Duralumin?
The audiobook pronounces it Duralumin.
Duralamin. Okay.
Duralumin is how I pronounced it. And
Because
probably
of the way they've tied it with aluminum, that's just the way.
Yep.
Well, if we were in Britain, it would make total sense to pronounce it something totally different because they say aluminium.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that it'd be.
But yeah, I always assumed that like the way the audiobook narrators
Duralamin.
pronounce it is the way that Brandon intended them to be pronounced. Like I'm just assuming that. Like.
Didn't he say a thing though where he doesn't want official
But
pronunciation?
again, yeah, like
because...
I'm sure he has an idea though of like the way it's pronounced in his head.
He probably pronounces it a certain way.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
just saying. Yeah, like.
Sure.
But anyway, this is
Sure.
all besides the point. This was really fun. We should
Mhm.
we should definitely do this again. I'm also thinking like once we get like a good idea of what happens in this situation and like where the kingdom goes next, we could totally play like a legit
RPG,
campaign
yeah.
in the setting. Like after we fill out the setting with this game, like that would be a super fun thing to do.
I think this would be the best way to start out every RPG is to play a game of Kingdom.
Play Game Kingdom or like Fiasco
Yeah.
or something like that where you can do like a one shot like world building exercise kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Microscope is really good for that. It's literally like a world building like history building thing.
Okay.
I really like this format because it's
Yeah,
like
me too.
we're playing characters and there's intense interpersonal scenes and you have chaos and craziness and you're not just sort of inspecting it from on high,
Yeah.
orchestrating little people moving around. We're not playing Age of Empires here.
Yeah.
In a sense we are, but we're driving the story with the scenes, but we're working with larger forces but smaller people. And
I also really like it because I get to play a character.
Yeah, I think it's just an
Uh-huh.
easy way for us to be able to stay focused on it because it's not rule heavy at all.
But it just has enough structure to keep the story moving.
and we all have the story in mind. We each have our own role about how we define the story.
Exactly.
And that's what's helpful to me, is that now I know we're all working together to tell the story, but I don't have to tell the whole thing. I can tell my part, and then Caleb tells me what exactly is going to happen because I did that thing, and Connor's going to tell me what the people think of it. And it's a very good system.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's nice.
I'm really enjoying this a lot.
Boom.
All right. So
Cool.
let's do this at the next possible.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out a good time to do it.
Yeah.
Next possible juncture.
Yeah. Christmas break is coming up, so
Yeah.
we should have a little bit of time there.
Be warned, I am on a slightly more intense work schedule
Okay.
than I have been in the past.
Okay.
I'm also trying to figure out dialing in my fairly regular routine at home. So things will. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to make more than one night a week for this.
Right,
sort of
yeah,
thing.
and I
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
assuming
no,
that. I'm just, yeah, and that's,
Mhm.
I wasn't saying like, oh, let's do it tomorrow. Like, yeah, it's just whatever we can get to it kind of a thing. So.
Mhm. I mean, it'd be fun to do it tomorrow, but well, yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. I can't. Maybe Wednesday night.
I can see the look on your face.
Yeah, I shouldn't do it tomorrow. Vacuum in the corner I haven't used in a week, and I need to use it. So. More
Well,
than
hey,
a
if you
week.
get done with that early, I will be free.
Maybe I might be able to do something after 7:30 on a Wednesday, but it might be a bit late to get started. But if we've already got something going, maybe we can go a little while. Because I have small group, but it only goes till 7:30 because some people have little kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's an option. If
We can figure it out.
yeah, we'll work it out.
Play it by ear.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, this is fun. See, this is
Absolutely.
I really like this because we have consistently played every Monday something for what, like
6 months.
5 months now? No, 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah, for 4 months now.
That other campaign it ran for a while, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, Crow
I mean,
Wizards
it's
was
still going, but
yeah.
but
It was 10 sessions. So I mean,
that's a lot more than I.
yeah.
I don't know. If you had told me to guess, I would have guessed 5.
Yeah, it's 10 sessions, and then we've had I think 3 sessions of
your Raging Winds. That sounds right.
of your Raging Winds. I think this would have been the 4th.
Yeah. First session was without Connor. Second session was Rat
No,
Poison.
it was without
No.
Trevor. and
Oh, without
Adam.
Trevor, right. First session was Rat Poison, and Trevor showed up.
Mhm.
Then Trevor showed up and I got exiled.
Yeah, you just died. Yeah.
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 And now I have to check because this is gonna bother me. Yeah. Oh no, it would be the 5th episode. It would have been today.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That was only supposed to be a short run campaign until we got
Uh-huh.
Crow Inquisitors back up. Speaking of Crow Inquisitors, you guys have we're switching to Thursdays with that, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And I think what we'll probably end up doing, just because of Christmas and all that stuff, we'll probably just end up making, let's see, it would be the 5th of January be the first Crow Inquisitors.
Okay.
So we start in the new year kind of a thing with that.
New year, new city.
And we'll, yeah. And we'll, I mean, it's
Okay,
totally true.
so should I have kept Monday open then? Until January? Because I definitely didn't.
No, not exactly, because I feel, okay, so like maybe like next week we'll do, maybe, it depends on people's schedule, but
So
next
I'll be
week
free
we
for
might
next
do,
week Monday.
yeah, your Raging Winds, but I
feel
think
like-
that might be
I feel like finals might be choking stuff over the
That
next
might
2 weeks
be
here.
True. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think we're gonna be able to get much, if any, else in of regular stuff until after anyway, and then we might as well just do Crow Inquisitors again because
Yeah.
David will be free. So
We should just, so if we don't get the chance to finish your Raging Winds and we want to just go back to Crow Inquisitors, because if David is you know, so what we should do is just kind of like assume
fade off.
No, we should just assume kind of what happens.
Yeah, we
what
can
is
summarize.
the outcome of that,
Sure.
of that whole
Mhm.
situation.
I think what we might end up doing is playing one more session of your Raging
I
Winds.
hope we get to.
If we no,
But
I'm
if
saying
David
like
wants to play.
right, but like if we can maybe squeeze it in on a Monday, like the 2nd of January, something like that, if people are free that evening.
That's
still.
true. Yeah,
Then what we could do is just squeeze that in and then do like a bunch of vignettes the whole time, just like skip around throughout
Okay.
the rest of the voyage and do
Yeah.
vignettes of what else is happening, and
Oh,
then
right.
end
Just-
at Lucerta.
Okay.
John
Just
ends
kinda
up in the
make
break because he can't cook.
Yeah.
So
Can't cook, got into a fight.
Yep.
we'll just kind of make like this role is going to be for a
Yeah, exactly.
drastic
Because
decision.
Burning Wheel is perfect for that kind of thing, where you can do a little vignette and just say, "All right, this one roll will decide how this scene goes,"
Mhm.
and then
So-
you just narrate what the scene, what happens.
Yeah,
and
so
then
it's like
that's the end of
if
the
I try to convince Avion to being my ally.
Yep.
We'll just decide in one roll. And
Yeah.
if it fails, it fails. And if
Exactly.
it does,
Yeah.
we'll just
That
go
would be
with
interesting. And then it will give us some setup for the next
Yeah.
thing that happens. And then I did want to ask you guys how you wanted to do it, because if they're going to be in Lucerta, I mean, with Crow Inquisitors, they could pop up. I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are playing two characters at once, how long you would want them to be in a bit of time.
I don't want to play my...
You want to play the son?
I do not
Okay.
want to play my character at all as soon as
we get to Lucerta? Okay.
Yeah. As soon as we're
As soon
playing
as
Crow Inquisitors.
Kentarius comes back.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
I would prefer if you picked up on how I played the character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I totally.
Okay.
You have a very strong presence with that character, so
Okay.
I should be able to pick that up, no problem.
All right, but and character development is obviously in your favor too. So
But I mean,
that's
you
fine,
you
but-
wrote all the beliefs and
Yeah.
instincts and stuff, so that gives me treasure to work with. Like I can just go with those. So
I have no problem playing both Jantos and Antonius, and possibly even in the same setting.
Right.
Not one-on-one, because, I mean,
yeah,
I
just
talk to
you
myself
talking to
all the time.
yourself.
I talk to myself all the time, but...
Yeah, and if we ever did get
I
into a
don't do it
situation
on
like
live
that, I would
streams.
probably just take over Jantos.
Okay. But, I mean, if for some reason there was ever need to be a one-on-one with the two of them, I could play both of them if there were several people in the
Right,
room
sure.
with things going on. Because they're distinct enough.
Yeah, and I think again, like
Antonius is close enough to my personality, and Jantos is far enough away that I can break my mind into multiple
definitely,
parts.
yeah. And what we'd probably do is none of those characters, except for I guess Iris, Adam's character. He's probably the one who would come up most relevantly in Crow Inquisitors, because I mean that's Theo's cousin, and there's the whole royal thing.
I'm going to love it when they meet with Adam's, because I love that character so much. And when I see Adam playing that character with the rest of our gang, it's just
Which character?
Ares?
Ares, yeah.
Ares is a fantastic character, so I just can't wait for him to be in anything.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah, and I think that I can weave that storyline of the princess, all that stuff, into the existing Crow Inquisitors thing pretty easily. I kind of have that as a little subplot that's going on in Lucerta, and so I think that would be really fun to kind of jump to a couple times. And
we've only had one session to see his character too. So
that's true.
been
That's so true.
disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to see.
But
Yeah, I want to see him play it
the
more.
whole ship expedition thing. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Ares to shine.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that you wrote all her beliefs and instincts around
Off of him, yeah.
Ares. It's like,
I want to go give a poem to Ares. I want to go kiss Ares.
it's like, I mean, it's a very one-dimensional character in that
But
respect.
it works, yeah.
But it's just funny.
Yep. That's the thing, you can't make all characters three-dimensional. It's just, it won't work. You can't, there's not enough time in a narrative to make characters all be rounded like that. And so sometimes you just have those one-hit wonder characters that just have one note to play, but that note is played very well.
The sole problem of Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Once again, I will rip on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be fun. I have some plans for Jantos and Gen. I will tell you. I have plans for them.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
I better not mess it up and be knocked overboard by a mercenary now.
And if you did, I would just carry on with Gen. It would work better if you had both of them. But
He'd be a bit of a harder character for me to pick up, I think.
Gen, yeah.
Probably, because, again, I can't just make up whatever. Jantos, most of the character dynamic there, I can bluff it along with just...
Yeah.
I know this general idea about seamanship in the Middle Ages, so I'm going to expand on it and tell a story because it's easy.
Yeah, and I think what we'll probably end up doing in the next arc of Crow Inquisitors is making it a pretty long arc, and basically I'm just gonna kind of open the floodgates for you guys and what you want, what you're interested in, what you want to accomplish. I'll set up a few goals that obviously the church will want you to accomplish, but I'm totally fine with where you want to take the story, and I think I'll probably elongate the whole thing and just make it a little bit more drawn out, hopefully in a good way, to kind of flesh out the characters, flesh out the setting. We can have some of those characters from Year of Ranged Winds kind of pop in. get a broad look at like what Saran is like at this time, what the political situation is, what the future could hold, and then go to another, like have you guys go to another specific place and do a mission or whatever, and then narrow in again. So I'm definitely seeing in the future that you guys will have to go on a ship at some point, and you will go on the three-legged dactyl because why not?
Why not?
Yeah. And then Avion, the problem is going to be if Avion just gives all his money away to Alphonse.
Yep.
Because I feel like Jared has made that character that Avion might just want to do that, like legitimately as a character thing, like just be like, oh, I love Alphonse, like I'm just gonna fund him, like I'll fund his rebellion that he wants to start with the church, you know, like.
Yes, Logan.
Yes.
I'm also really interested to see. I love Cadmail's character a lot. Like I love the way Trevor is playing that character. But I'm also interested in seeing, because we haven't been able to see Sergio do what Sergio does yet, really. Like, especially when he's in like a religious environment, like of that Lucerta is, he will definitely thrive in that sense and just be like really involved in what's happening. And I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, man, I feel like the problem with our RPGs is that all the characters that we want to see and we want the story to be about, they just don't make it enough.
Yep.
Like Josh
Trevor
and I and Jared, like we don't want the story to be about our characters. We want it to be about like Dallin and Sergio because they're like the heads of the church.
Right.
And so we're just sitting there like, well, they're not here. So what do we do?
Right. Yeah.
But okay, I need to go to bed. So.
Yeah. Me too.
I should.
Yeah.
I won't, but I should.
All right, so yeah, thanks for playing, guys. Thanks for watching. Jordan, who was watching at some point, and then anyone else who was watching. So, yeah, we'll be back next week, maybe.
We have one person watching, but we don't know who the heck.
No idea. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like somebody just left their computer up on our channel constantly. Whenever we turn it on, it's like, oh, this person just watching it.
Well, right now we're being hosted by Jordan's channel, so he hosted us. So that might be. But yeah, adios. Good night.
Good night.